Hello and welcome to Unqualified Opinions. I'm Will Beiermann, and once again we're going to be breaking down ESPN's NFL power rankings, starting with the top 10, of course. And jumping right into number 10, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-3. And honestly, all due respect to Mr. Paul Hires, I have no idea how the Chiefs continue to be number 10 in the power rankings. Again, obviously, we fully expect them to make the playoffs, continue to be a dominant force in the NFL, but for power rankings' sake, number 10 is way too high for them. Moving on to number 9, the Cleveland Browns hanging in there, dropping 3 spots after a big loss to the Chargers, an absolute shootout. Baker Mayfield, I thought, really showed a lot of guts in the game. I mean, you kind of have to question him the most when you're thinking about if the Browns are going to make a deep run into the playoffs. They may have lost, but I think he proved he can hang in there. So they may have gone down to rankings at 9, which I feel like is a good spot for the Browns, but I think they should be optimistic after that loss even. Up to number 8 after a monster performance from Lamar Jackson. Baltimore Ravens found themselves pulling off a big Monday Night Football win. 8's a good spot for them. I think they've kind of taken a step back, I think, from the upper tier of the NFL, just barely. And we saw some teams like the next team at number 7 who have really risen up in the rankings, but I think the Ravens will kind of hold tight at that spot. It's a good place for them. Up to number 7, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, who had a dominant win over the Cleveland Browns. Justin Herbert really entering the MVP conversation just his second year, had an absolute monster game. Sky looks like it's the limit for them so far. 7's a good spot there. Up to number 6, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, all you really want to talk about them is Trayvon Diggs, 6 interceptions in 5 games, and that's about all you need to hear for that team. Their defense has really stepped up, and 6, again, seems like a pretty safe spot for them. Moving up to number 5, the Green Bay Packers hold down their spot there. Not much movement among the top 5 here from ESPN here. Packers hold consistent. They won a pretty ugly game, field goal-wise, against the Cincinnati Bengals, but that's honestly a tough team to beat this year, so you can't knock them too much for that one. Still behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4-1. Tom Brady, again, had an absolute monster game. They're at 4. They're held back by the loss of the Rams, who are at number 3. Again, not a whole lot to say about some of these top-tier teams right now. Los Angeles Rams really rebounded. They lost to the Cardinals, but they had a dominant win against the Seattle Seahawks, against the legendary Geno Smith, who made his triumphant return to football, looking sharp, then throwing an awful interception. The Rams, again, at number 3, good spot, really cements them as a serious contender. Moving up to number 2, Arizona Cardinals, 5-0, NFL's last undefeated team, and currently atop the NFC West, their most competitive division. Cardinals have shown no sign of stopping whatsoever. Kyler Murray remains in the MVP race. Once again, the question remains, with the Bills at number 1 in the rankings, Cardinals at 2, should the Cardinals be ranked higher considering the Bills are 4-1? Cardinals ranked 5-0. While the Bills have been absolutely dominant, and Josh Allen, again, has just absolutely shown himself to be a generational quarterback so far, I still feel like the Cardinals being 5-0 and playing some quality opponents, including the Rams, should be at the number 1 spot. ESPN obviously going to disagree. Don't know why that is. They won't go into that. That's the top 10 for this week from ESPN. I'm Will from Unqualified Opinions, signing off.